What is going on, chat man? Today we're reacting to when was Michael Jordan actually in his prime. This was highly recommended. As you guys know, we've been reacting to Michael Jordan a good amount on my channel. You guys can go check that out. But if you're a new subscriber, we've been reacting to old NBA content, and it's just been amazing, honestly. You guys been recommending me amazing content to react to. And with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Yes, sir.
Michael Jordan won his first MVP at 24, won his last championship at 35, dropped 51 points at 38.
24 is very young. That's crazy.
Most players get 5 great years if they're lucky, but Jordan, he gave us 3 separate Hall of Fame careers in one lifetime.
Wait, I didn't even think about it like that. 3 Hall of Fame careers in a lifetime? What?
The look away to Livingston. Jordan.
At his peak, Michael Jordan wasn't just dominating the game, he was the game. But what if I told you he didn't just have one prime, not even 2? What if Michael Jordan had 3 different primes, each one redefining greatness in its own era? Jordan didn't just show up and dominate, he adapted, reinvented, and reasserted himself over and over again. From unstoppable scorer to perfect team leader to cold
I think Jordan has the best highlights ever. Oh my god.
blooded veteran killer. Jordan lived 3 lives in the same career. A brief listing of his top accomplishments include Rookie of the Year, 5-time NBA MVP, 6-time NBA champion, 6-time NBA Finals MVP, 10-time All-NBA First Team, 9-time NBA All-Defensive First
9-time All-Defensive First Team? That's crazy.
Team, Defensive Player of the Year, 14-time NBA All-Star, 3-time NBA All-Star MVP, 50th Anniversary All-Time Team, 10 scoring titles, an NBA record, and 7 consecutive matching Wilt Chamberlain, retired with the NBA's highest scoring average of 30.1 points per game, and Hall of Fame inductee.
I'll be honest, I think he has so much accolades, I think he even forgets himself. It's crazy.
However, his impact is far greater than awards and championships. He burst into the league as a rookie sensation, scoring in droves with an unmatchable first step and acrobatic drives and dunks, and concluded his career as a cultural icon. Off the court, Jordan was about to revolutionize more than just the game. Nike, bleeding money in the early 80s, gambled everything on one unproven rookie, offering Jordan an unprecedented $2.5 million over 5 years, plus his own shoe line. Most NBA shoe deals at the time didn't crack $150K annually. The Air Jordan dropped in 1985, and when the NBA banned them for breaking uniform rules, Nike turned controversy into marketing gold.
On September 15th, Nike created a revolutionary new basketball shoe. On October 18th, the NBA
How did you guys feel about the Jordans when they came out? Because they look amazing.
threw them out of the game. Fortunately, the NBA can't stop you from wearing them. Air Jordans from Nike.
The shoes exploded, $100 million in sales by end of season. While Jordan was turning into a cultural icon off the court, his new teammates got an immediate taste of what they drafted. Word spread fast in training camp. "You've got to come and see this guy," Bulls staffers said. His first practice was so intense, coach Kevin Lafferty had to stop it early. MJ was simply embarrassing the veterans, stealing the ball every trip on defense and dunking every trip on offense. From day one, Jordan practiced like it was the finals, sending a message to the vets, there's a new sheriff in town. Even in preseason, it was...
I know I'm pausing it so much, I apologize, but that low-key gave me a lot of confidence. Play like every single day is your last. Respect, man.
was clear the Rockets and Blazers had made a mistake. Bernard King, who led the league in scoring that year, put it simply after an exhibition game. All I can say is the people in Chicago are in for a real treat. He was right. Attendance spiked in every arena where Jordan came. Fans just wanted to see him play. And even opposing crowds didn't mind losing if Jordan put on a show.
Wow.
In December, Sports Illustrated put him on the cover with the headline, "A Star is Born." From the very start, Jordan's impact was so electric that people even accused referees of giving him special treatment. Fans swore he had to be
Wow.
travelling with an extra step, because how else could he leave defenders in a cloud of dust so often? But the video showed the truth. His first step was just that fast, and the league took notice fast too. He was Rookie of the Year, an All-Star, and made All-NBA second team, all in his very first season. But then came the first real setback.
You can't even make a rookie. You can't even be a rookie on the All-Star team now. How?
Last year's Rookie of the Year, Michael Jordan, out with a broken left foot.
3 games into his second season, Jordan broke a bone in his left foot and missed 64 games. He still made the All-Star team but couldn't play. When MJ finally returned, he dropped a playoff record 63 points on the juggernaut Celtics in a double overtime loss.
A help to Michael Jordan in that case.
Putting off the glass.
Has 8 points and is the game high score. Going baseline. Michael Jordan, the pass to double team, and Woolridge misses again. Here's Michael Jordan. Chicago is led virtually all the way. Jordan, thanks 8 on the clock. Jordan ties the game.
Oh, boy.
63 points, and you're looking.
Boston swept Chicago, but Jordan averaged 43.7 points per game in the series. Starting in 86-87, Mike launched his assault on the record books. Jordan averaged 37.1 points, his first of 7 straight scoring titles, and rattled off 9 consecutive 40-point games. He also won
This guy is not human. What?
back-to-back slam dunk contests, but the Bulls still couldn't get
Slam
past Boston.
dunk?
That offseason, Chicago added Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen, and in 87-88, Jordan cleaned the awards house: MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and All-Star MVP. He led the Bulls to a playoff win over Cleveland before falling to the Pistons. The
Ooh.
bad boys of Detroit would haunt him for years, smothering him with Chuck Daly's Jordan rules. They dared him to win alone with constant double and triple teams. For a while, it worked, but Jordan kept pushing. In 88-89, he delivered one of his best statistical seasons: 32.5 points, 8 assists,
Ooh.
8 rebounds, and nearly 3 steals per game. He capped it off with the shot over Craig Elo to eliminate the Cavs in round 1.
Gets the ball from Hugh Evans. He looks, he gives to Jordan. Jordan to the circle, puts the shot in the air. Good! The game's over, and the Bulls have won.
God.
Then averaged 35 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists in the 6-game second-round series against the Knicks, but ultimately falling to the Pistons again. By
Damn.
89-90, the Bulls turned to Phil Jackson and his triangle offense. Even though Chicago didn't win in Jackson's first season, the signs were there. Jordan dropped a career-high 69 points against Cleveland and shot a career best at the time, 37.6% from deep. Yet, once again, the Pistons slammed the door in the Eastern Conference Finals, and so the whispers grew louder. Jordan had all the accolades: Rookie of the Year, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, scoring titles one
He had all those accolades before he even won championships. That is insane to me.
after another, but no finals appearances. Critics like legendary Chicago columnist and author Sam Smith said you couldn't win it with Jordan. They weren't winning yet. We didn't know if they were going to. The notion around the NBA was, you can't win with Jordan. He's too selfish a scorer. He'll be like George Gervin, a great scorer who's never going to win. Or a better player like Julius Erving, who was a big star and did all the dunking, but he didn't win until he got Moses Malone, Smith recalled. That version of MJ, hyper-athletic, hyper-competitive, obsessed with scoring, still hadn't figured out how to lead a team all the way. The highlights and titles were stacking up, the rings weren't. Yet, because the moment Jordan leveled up, the entire league had no choice but to bow to the new king. But Jordan wasn't done evolving. If his first prime proved he could dominate individually, his second would prove something even more impressive.
Oh my god. Okay.
MJ was about to silence his critics on the ultimate stage. In 1991, growing more comfortable in Phil Jackson's triangle, Jordan led Chicago to a franchise best 61 wins and then tore through the playoffs, dropping only 2 games on the way to the Bulls' first NBA championship.
Okay.
The sweetest moment came in the Eastern Conference Finals, a clean sweep of the Pistons. After years of being battered by the bad boys and their
Wait, sweeps back then used to be 3-0, not 4-0? Was it different?
Jordan rules, Jordan left no doubt who owned the East. Jordan even lowered his scoring load to 29.8 per game in that series, while boosting his assists, steals, and blocks, proof that he could dominate without just hunting points. In the finals, the Bulls fell in Game 1 at home to the Lakers, but Jordan responded by averaging 31.4 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 8.4 assists as Chicago ripped off 4 straight wins, ending the Showtime era for good. Magic Johnson retired the following season, while Jordan walked away with his first of 6 Finals MVPs.
Sheesh.
Finally, the Jordan can't win talk was gone. And the next season, he didn't just back it up, he leveled up. In 91-92, the Bulls went 67-15, shattering their own record. Jordan won his second straight MVP with 30.1 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 6.1 assists on 52% shooting.
What I'm noticing about Jordan, he's always averaged 30 points per game. Like, if he's averaging lower than 30, he struggled. Like, if he averaged 28, he was struggling. Or he was young. 30 points per game is his average.
After a 3-0 sweep of the Heat, a bruising 7-game war with the Knicks, and 6-game win over Cleveland, the Bulls faced Clyde Drexler and the Blazers. The media billed it as air versus glide, but Jordan ended that debate in Game 1 with a finals record 35 first-half points, capped by 6 threes and the legendary shrug toward the scorer's table. He finished the series averaging 35.8, 4.8, and 6.5 on 52.6% shooting, picking up his second finals MVP in a row. 2 rings, back-to-back dominance, and iconic moments burned into NBA history. By 1992, Jordan wasn't just the best player alive, he was untouchable. And then came the summer that made him a global icon. Jordan headlined the Dream Team at the Barcelona Olympics, a roster so stacked it looked more like royalty than a basketball squad.
He's hosting the Dream Team. That's how you know he's just way too good.
Didn't just win gold, they destroyed opponents, sparked basketball mania around the globe, and turned NBA stars into worldwide celebrities. And at the center of it all, Michael Jordan. After all this, was it possible he still had more to give? The 93 Bulls were still strong, but not the juggernaut of years past. They slipped to second in the East behind Patrick Ewing's Knicks and third overall behind Charles Barkley's Suns. Many pundits called Chicago vulnerable. Sports Illustrated even predicted a Knicks-Suns finals. But what outsiders overlooked were the Bulls'
Automatically hating because Jordan's winning way too much.
intangibles, that late-game grit, that championship confidence forged in fire. And Jordan, he was still that guy. He came into the season heavier, stronger, more deliberate, calculated, still the assassin when it mattered most. He averaged 32.6 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 5.5 assists, while finishing second in Defensive Player of the Year voting and in the MVP voting too, ending his streak with Barkley taking the trophy after leading Phoenix to a league-best 62-20 record. MJ had something to say about that, but first, he had to go through the East. In the conference finals, Jordan toppled the Knicks for the 4th time in 5 years. He dropped 54 points in Game 4, then delivered a 29-point triple-double in Game 5, capped by Chicago's legendary sequence of blocks on Charles Smith to steal a 97-94 win at Madison Square Garden. The Bulls closed it out in Game 6, sending Ewing home again. Then came Barkley's Suns, and Jordan saved one of his greatest acts for them.
Jordan comes so cool into his games. He looks serious facing everything. Aura Farman.
He averaged an NBA Finals record 41 points per game across 6 games. In the clincher, the Bulls rallied from a fourth-quarter deficit, fueled by 9 straight Jordan points before John Paxson buried the title-winning 3 with 3.9 seconds left. Chicago's three-peat was complete, and so was Jordan's revenge tour. This was the apex predator Jordan, still athletic enough to posterize anyone. But off the court, trouble was brewing. Jordan faced scrutiny over his gambling, But nothing hit harder than the murder of his father, his closest confidant, and steady presence throughout his rise to superstardom. Emotionally drained and searching for purpose, Jordan shocked the basketball world by announcing his retirement just one day before training camp in 1993. For most players, this would be the end of the story. 3 championships, 3 finals MVPs, nothing left to prove. But legends don't follow scripts. While Jordan chased curveballs in Birmingham, something gnawed at him.
That's insane. You know, when he retired right there, he really could have just been probably the best player of all time right there. But he kept playing.
The competitor who'd spent a decade proving critics wrong couldn't walk away with unfinished business. The bad boys were gone, Magic had retired, but a new generation was rising. Hakeem, Shaq, Penny, players who'd never felt the full weight of Jordan at his apex. They were about to learn that Michael Jordan didn't just have one prime, or even 2. He was about to show the world what happened when raw athleticism evolved into calculated assassination.
Sheesh.
By the time he first retired, Jordan had already done what most could only dream of: scoring titles, Defensive Player of the Year, MVPs, and 3 straight championships. That first three-peat cemented him as the game's undisputed king.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I was the best, Jordan said. When I leave this game, I'd like to think I was the best that ever played. The Bulls remained competitive without him, led by Scottie Pippen, but they weren't championship level. Even with an MVP caliber season from Pippen in '94, Chicago couldn't reach the finals without its leader. Then, in March 1995, Jordan returned wearing number 45.
How did you guys feel when Jordan came back? When he announced, "I'm back," was it like, let's go, it's crazy? Let me know down below.
Bulls fell to the Magic in the playoffs, but the storm was clearly coming. That loss to Orlando lit something primal in Jordan. Tim Grover, his trainer, said Jordan called him at 2 a.m. after the series ended. "I'm not going out like this." For 5 months, Jordan transformed his body and his game in what Grover called the most intense training of his career. He studied every possession from that Magic series, obsessing over Nick Anderson stripping him twice in Game 1. When camp opened in October 1995, teammates barely recognized him. The baseball's softened physique was gone, replaced by 218 pounds of muscle.
Wow.
But the real change was mental. Assistant coach Tex Winter noted, Michael used to react to defenses, now he was dictating to them. By the 95-96 season, number 23 was back, fueled by relentless fire, and Jordan led Chicago to a then record 72-win season.
Talk about locking in. He locked in that summer. What?
That year ended with a 4th championship over the Seattle Supersonics, and it was only the beginning. The Sonics series showcased Jordan 3.0 perfectly. After Seattle won Games 4 and 5 to send the series back to Chicago, the media wondered if Jordan, at 33, still had that championship gear. His response? 3 straight games averaging 27 points on 45% shooting.
Dang.
Not spectacular numbers until you realize he was orchestrating everything. He'd post up Hersey Hawkins for 6 possessions straight. Then, when help came, find Kukoc for corner threes. When Seattle adjusted, he'd attack Gary Payton off the dribble just enough to keep the defense honest. In the clinching Game 6, played on Father's Day, his first championship since his father's death, Jordan collapsed on the locker room floor, clutching the basketball, sobbing. This championship meant something the first 3 hadn't. But defending a championship is harder than winning one, and 1997 would test Jordan in ways he didn't expect. Despite the Bulls posting a dominant 69-13 record, the second best in NBA history, and Jordan averaging 29.6 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 1.7 steals per game, voters gave MVP to Karl Malone, who beat out Jordan by just 29 points. It was the second closest MVP vote since media balloting began, and most believed it came down to voter fatigue. The media was tired of crowning Jordan year after
Yeah, that makes sense. They were tired of giving him. He's winning way too much.
year. Malone himself seemed surprised, joking, "I thank Michael Jordan for letting me borrow it for 1 year." But Jordan didn't forget. And when the Bulls met Malone's Jazz in the finals, MJ had all the motivation he needed. The 1997 finals became Jordan's mid-range masterpiece. He shot 45 times from 15 to 20 feet across 6 games, hitting 56% of them, a percentage that would make modern analytics departments weep with joy. In Game 1, he hit the game winner over Byron Russell. In Game 5, the flu game, he scored 38 points while barely able to stand during timeouts, hitting 13 of 27 shots, primarily on fadeaways because he lacked the energy to drive. I knew I couldn't bang with the young guys anymore, Jordan admitted years later, but I also knew that nobody could stop my fadeaway. Not at my
That's crazy, because at that time, people were thinking like, yo, Jordan, don't dunk on me. But he was really thinking like that. That's crazy.
height, with my hands at that angle. The 1997 series came down to Game 6 at the United Center. Tied at 86 with under a minute left, the Jazz expected Jordan to take the final shot. Instead, MJ drew the double team and found Steve Kerr wide open. Kerr buried the 17-footer with 5 seconds left,
Dang.
giving Chicago its 5th championship. Even at 34, Jordan had
That was for a championship? Oh my God.
evolved, recognizing the winning play wasn't always about him taking the shot, but making the right basketball play. But the story wasn't over. The 1997-98 season, The Last Dance, brought unprecedented chaos. General manager Jerry Krause announced Phil Jackson's final season before it even began, creating a toxic atmosphere. Scottie Pippen, vastly underpaid at just the 122nd highest salary in the league, delayed his off-season foot surgery in protest and missed the first 35 games. The front office seemed determined to dismantle a dynasty that was still winning championships.
Why?
Yet, through
Why would they do that though? What was the reasoning for that?
it all, Jordan at 35 played 82 games, won his 10th scoring title and 5th MVP, and dragged the Bulls to a 62-20 record. He wasn't just fighting opponents anymore, he was fighting time, front office politics, and the looming end of an era. And when the Bulls faced Utah again in the 1998 finals, Jordan had one final masterpiece left. Game 6 in Salt Lake City. Bulls down 86-85. Under a minute to play, the Jazz had possession and a chance to extend their lead. But Jordan, reading the play perfectly, slid over and stripped the ball from an unsuspecting Karl Malone in the post. He brought the ball up court himself. Championship on the line. 18 seconds left. The entire basketball world watching. And everyone in the building knowing exactly who would take the shot. Facing Byron Russell at the top of the key, Jordan
They knew exactly who was going to take that shot and they couldn't do nothing about it. That's the sad part.
made his move.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
The ball kissed through the net with 5.2 seconds remaining. Bulls 87, Jazz 86. Jordan held his follow-through, frozen on his toes for just a moment too long, as the moment etched itself into history. The Jazz's final possession failed, and the Bulls had their 6th championship in 8 years. Jordan finished with 45 points at 35 years old, in hostile territory, with the weight of a crumbling dynasty on his shoulders.
Wow.
The steal, the confidence to bring it up himself, the killer crossover, the clutch shot, that iconic pose. It was basketball greatness distilled into one perfect sequence, and a middle finger to everyone who thought the dynasty should end. In his second three-peat, Jordan had evolved into basketball's perfect organism. No longer relying on explosiveness alone, he perfected the fadeaway jumper, 48 inches high, impossible to block. He picked his moments, conserving energy for 3 quarters, then destroying teams in the 4th. This version averaged fewer points than his first prime, but won at a higher rate. He'd learned the ultimate lesson. Dominance isn't about doing the most, it's about doing exactly what's needed, when it's needed.
What about the Wizards?
I am here to announce my retirement from the game of basketball.
When Michael Jordan retired for the second time in January 1999, he said he was 99.9% certain he would never play in the NBA again. Less than 2 years later, on September 25, 2001, that 0.1% chance won out. Jordan
Wow.
announced his return, this time as a member of the Washington Wizards. Jordan had joined the
Wow.
Wizards as the president of basketball operations on January 19, 2000. About 6 months before his return, he began a rigorous training routine to prepare for a comeback. At first, he cooled expectations,
Okay.
claiming he was simply trying to shed extra weight gained in retirement. But when he began hosting invitation-only camps for NBA players and hired his former Chicago Bulls coach, Doug Collins, to lead the team, the stage was set. After announcing his return and donating his entire 01-02 salary to September 11 relief efforts, fans lined up for tickets, eager to see one more glimpse of the game's greatest player. At 38, more than 3 years removed from his last championship with the Bulls, no one knew what to expect. The Wizards
Jeez.
sold out every home game in his 2 seasons, though the team failed to make the playoffs. Fans weren't left empty-handed, however. In 01-02, Jordan played 60 games before a knee injury cut his season short, yet he still averaged 22.9 points,
Dang.
5.7 rebounds, and 5.2 assists per game,
Okay.
delivering several legendary performances. On December 29, 01, just 2 days after the worst game of his career, he exploded for 51 points against the Charlotte Hornets, becoming the oldest player in NBA history to score 50 in a game. Jordan played one more season in 02-03,
He's that old, scoring 50 is actually crazy to me still to this.
averaging 20 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 3.8 assists,
Okay.
and 1.5 steals per game, shooting 44.5% from the floor. He also led the league in mid-range shooting, a testament to his still dominant offensive game. In his 14th and final NBA All-Star game, he passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the all-time leading scorer in All-Star history, a record since surpassed by Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. Jordan was the only Washington player to appear in all 82 games that season. Even in his late career, Jordan drew crowds and commanded respect. During his Wizards stint, all home games at the MCI Center were sold out, and the team averaged 20,000 plus fans at home and 19,000 plus on the road, making them the second most watched team in the NBA. Even far from the peak of his powers, Michael Jordan was still the most electrifying presence in the league, an icon
Wow.
no one could take their eyes off. 3 different primes, 3 versions of dominance. Young MJ, unstoppable force. Mid-career MJ, apex predator. Late MJ, ruthless closer. And in every version, he won. Most legends get one defining moment, one peak year. Jordan gave us 3 different versions of greatness, each one rendering the previous obsolete. The question isn't which prime was best, it's how one man redefined greatness 3 times over.
Chat, we gotta talk about this one. This was actually insane to me. Jordan had 3 primes. I would have never imagined that. That's unbelievable. But this is the end of the video, chat. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, man. And I appreciate you guys for recommending me amazing content to react to. But with that being said, I'll catch y'all next time. Yes, sir.